YouTube and welcome to another video. So today we're actually doing something different again because I recently went through my files to do some presentations. I realized that I have a lot of screenshots from when I was a kid and when I was playing a lot of different Winx Club games online and just like dress up games and different sort of games online. So I have a lot of screenshots from these games. And I realized that I don't remember some of those Winx Club games existing. And I was thinking, maybe you guys haven't heard of these games either. Maybe you don't remember them either. Or maybe you do remember them and you wanna feel nostalgic about it. And you wanna go, oh yeah, I remember that. I thought no one else did. Okay, so we're gonna basically look at a bunch of screenshots, and some of these games are official games from Rainbow. Some of these games are completely unofficial, and these I particularly had no memory of, but by now I have played them a lot because I have a lot of screenshots of them. And some of them are by 4Kids, some of them are from the Winx Club official website, some of them are still available online for playing today, but most of them are sort of lost to the time. There are some of them that are still available despite them originally being Flash games and Flash games no longer being available. But there are some websites that still host them. None of them are available officially anymore, but some of them are available on some sites. But we're gonna be looking at some of these screenshots. And before we do, I actually wanted to show you some screenshots from a official Winx Club game that wasn't a web browser-based game. That was a game that I had on a CD, and I still have the files for it, and I still have it, but I don't have a computer to play it on because A, I don't use a PC anymore, and like a Windows-based PC. And B, oh, this is an incredibly old game, so it wouldn't like work on a newer PC. This was an official Winx Club game from incredibly early on, and I believe it was only released in Italian because I only have it in Italian. No idea where my father got it from, but my father managed to find it somewhere. And I recently watched a compilation video of all official Winx games. Supposedly like non-browser based games, and it wasn't on that video, so I was like, I have some knowledge that they don't. But yeah, this is the game that I'm talking about. I only have 2 screenshots of it. I actually played it at a friend's house semi-recently because I have an older computer, but I don't have anywhere to show it on my computer, so you're just gonna have to live with these 2 screenshots. This was a Mission to Cloud Tower game. You could play any of the Winx Girls. Here I have a screenshot where Musa is fighting Icy. Icy was the final boss. The tricks weren't playable, but they were in there. And you could play any of the Winx fairies. It was an incredibly short game. You could play it in a couple of hours, I want to say. And it basically covered episodes 5 and 6 of the season 1. So it was a completely season 1 based game, made I think pretty early on in Winx Club's history. So it basically covered the Winx Girls losing Stella's ring, the Winx Girls going to get it in Cloud Tower, and then fighting the witches. So you're basically just on a mission in Cloud Tower. You're trying to find the ring first, and then you fight some witches. And I think you fight Nut in the very first sort of boss battle. And yeah, and you could get all these coins, and I don't remember if you could do anything with them. But you could collect them. I think there were some wallpapers and screensavers that came with that game as well. And a Nutella glass ad, which has meant that I have spent a great deal of my life hoping that maybe one day I will see a Nutella glass with Bloom and Stella, because it was advertised in the game credits. Hi, editing Helena here. So I googled to see if I can find the Nutella ad that I was talking about, and I couldn't find that Nutella ad, but I realized that not only have there been one set of Winx Club Season 1 Nutella glasses, there have been at least 4 different sets. There was the Season 1 set that I couldn't find, but that I knew that they had an ad of in the game. Then there was a Season 2 set, a Pixie set, and an Enchantrix set. But yeah, this was a sort of game. I really like the fact that you could play as all of the Winx. Sadly, I don't have any gameplay footage left. And now we're moving on to Dollmakers and all sorts of dress-up games. First off, we have this game, which I actually have a lot of screenshots of. This was on the official website, and I think it counted as just like a web card maker. Because there was also, I'm gonna show you some of the other screenshots, and you just ignore the text on them because there's just I made some sort of random story with them. The text is in Estonian, so most of you can't understand it anyways. But yeah, it was a sort of Winx card maker. You could pull these characters all over the backgrounds, kind of like the Winx Party app nowadays. If you have the Winx Party app, you had the specialists and you had Winx in different outfits. Was Bloom only? No, Bloom. There was definitely like different versions of each character because even in these screenshots I can tell that there was at least a casual version and a fairy version of everyone. This was a fun game that I do remember, and it was on the official Winx Club site. I think the winxclub.com one rather than winxclub.tv, which was the 4K site, which I also used a lot, which we're gonna also see games from a lot. Now, then we have another subgenre of just these fake Winx Club games with just the randomest backgrounds you have ever imagined. Here we have Winx Girls in an arcade and the specialists, and also this was a similar sort of concept that you had characters and you had these, in this case, very wacky backgrounds. And sometimes you also had, as you're gonna see, like different accessories you could add. So basically like a doll maker game, but you couldn't dress the characters up, you couldn't make the dolls were made, and the backgrounds were pre-made, and you could just play around with this. Here we have another one where they're in a store, and you can see that there's just a bunch of random stuff that doesn't even match stylistically. I wonder if I added all of that stuff on the shelves. Oh my god, I think I did because some of it is really wonky. But yeah, you could add all this stuff on the shelves. This is like haberdashery. There's like the most randomest thing ever. Oh, they have a Windows like 98 computer on the background there, and Tekna is holding a newer computer. And you can see the art style is completely different from the art style of Winx Club, and obviously this wasn't an official game. But my hot take is that sometimes these games would be more fun than the official games because they would have so much more details. Yes, it would be random stuff that doesn't absolutely match the art style of the original, but there's look at all this little stuff that I have put on the shelves there. Like you could do stuff with it. Here we have the next picture where Pixies and Bloom and Stella are just rocking out, and Bloom's outfit doesn't even really fit her properly. Stella's outfit doesn't even fit her properly. These are like fan made, I believe. They've used the bases from the 4Kids dress up game, but the 4Kids dress up game didn't really have that much options. So they would often make dress up games with those bases, but loads of added outfits. These are obviously like fan made outfits. And also the background is completely different from like official Winx Club art style. And pixels are also huge, I feel. Then we have, which I think the background here is taken from the Winx Club PC and PlayStation Join the Club game. The scaling is way off. I don't think you could scale these dolls. If you could, I would have probably scaled them better. Seems like you just had dolls and not that many details. Here we have another one which I think is from the same game where I did the haberdashery one, or at least made by the same people, because there's all this random stuff. I can see the same stack of presents that Sky was holding earlier. Look at that vanity table. The style doesn't match at all. Loving the huge KFC bucket. I don't remember which websites these games were on. I had completely forgotten about them until I was looking through my old files, and I was like, oh wow, I have a lot of screenshots of this. Apparently I spent a lot of time doing this. Okay, so we also have this Bloom and Sky on the beach. And let's see if I have any more of these incredibly wacky backgrounded games. Oh yeah, I do. I think this one was a mix of dress up, and you could maybe put them on a different background, because here we have a Musa on a Hollywood Boulevard, and I'm pretty sure that I have picked out her outfit as well. I think this is from a similar website where I had the Musa in Hollywood dress up game. Here we have Tekna in a museum, which is what that. I love this file. So we have two different outfits of Tekna in a museum, and as you can see, you could move where the doll was standing, and you could move the clothes. And they have sort of used the base again for the for Kids.tv dress up game, but they have made Tekna's avatar because Tekna wasn't the character on the 4Kids website. Oh, and we have more from the from the this weird game where you could have all sorts of details and KFC nuggets. Here the KFC is again prominent. By the way, this was years before KFC was available in Estonia, so when I made this, I had never had KFC in my life. Just a fun fact for you. Um, Aisha is holding a Hello Kitty bag. Here, the Winx Club are partying. I wonder if I'm dressed still, or was she dressed like that? And there's another sort of party. Here the dolls I think were pre-made. The KFC bucket. The KFC bucket is everywhere. The KFC bucket is haunting me. The KFC bucket is everywhere. Bloom is holding the KFC bucket rather dramatically. I do want to hold a KFC bucket like that. Oh, I think there's the same background as the picture we saw before. There's another. I have played with this a lot because there's another where Bloom is holding this same stack of presents. The Hello Kitty bag is there again. Tragically, the KFC bucket isn't. Here we have this very different in style. So this is a completely different game than the one we looked at previously. Um, Winx games where the bodies of the characters are from, I think, like an average doll maker. Like this isn't Bloom's body, and this definitely isn't Sky's body. Their faces don't work at all. But they're in like a fancy hotel, and here they are like in a fancy courtyard. I think maybe you could pick their bodies as well, I wanna say. Because Bloom has a completely different like pose. So I feel like you could pick their bodies and their outfits, and you just put their head on top. I don't know. I don't remember how these games work exactly. Here we have Stella. This dress-up game, because I have two screenshots of this dress-up game. When I say that this dress-up game was sort of stationary, you had Stella in the middle, and then you could change the backgrounds and the outfits. Don't you just love this background and how official it looks? You can see the pixelation, and the style is again completely different. And I also want to say that Stella's outfit is a mess. I don't know. They have also like painted her season 1 top a different color, and the skirt I think also was originally a different color. Moving on to like more traditional dress-up games, here we have a game where you could just dress the fairies up. You could also like move them around, but the background was very plain. But you could have Charmix for most of them. And here I have just dressed them like randomly, completely randomly, without any rhyme or reason. I don't know if it's the same game as this game, where I have dressed Bloom in like a mismatch of her season 1 and season 2 outfits, which I actually kind of like this outfit. And I also have Flora several times. And I think I had some Technas. Yeah, I have some Technas as well. Here are some Technas. So that's obviously one of the games I also enjoyed. I don't think it was official either. I have no memory of it. I also found two different unofficial Flora dress-up games that I have screenshots of, and I didn't really say much of it in my original recording because there isn't much to say. They're just unofficial stationary Winx Club dress-up games, but I wanted to share the screenshots with you anyways, so here. Then I also found one that was interesting in that it looked completely like a classical Dollmaker, but the Dollmaker was just Winx Club themed. Like you can, Muse's hair is short, but she's wearing an Enchantrix, but I assume this was the best of what I had to work with. I would even say that you can't really tell Aisha is Aisha. I have just not made Tekna. Yeah, some of them don't even look like Wings Fairies, but apparently this doll maker had some Wings Fairy-esque options. I don't know how many, because this is all the screenshots I have, and I don't really have a real collection of this anymore. I also found this really strange Enchantix doll maker screenshot that I have. Musa's wings, especially, they look like they're from a screenshot of a episode. I do like the overall style. It is kind of all over the place, but yeah, this feels like one of those doll makers where you could dress them up as well. I also found one artwork like this, which I also think is from a some sort of unofficial dress-up game that actually has a pretty cool style. I like the way Bloom looks here. It's like a 3D artwork of Bloom. It looks completely different than the official 3D artworks, and I think it's also from a yeah, it's from 2007, so it's from years ago. But I think it looks really cool. I like that. I do like that. Now we have some screenshots from official games, and most of these are still available. Here we have one from the 4Kids Winx Club dress-up game, which is very beloved, and this still exists online. And here we have another Stella from that game. Yeah, there are these sites that still host classic Flash games, and this game is also available. This is the newer version. There used to be a version without Aisha before she wasn't a Winx Fairy. But oh, I clicked on Aisha, but okay. Yeah, so here you can dress everyone up. They didn't get rid of any of the old stuff. They just added new stuff, which I always enjoy. Now I'm looking at it and like the dolls are really pixelated. And my favorite outfit to give Stella is no longer here. Oh, it is. My favorite outfit to give to Stella was her classic uh, season. Is the skirt gone? Season 1 outfit. But they have gotten rid of the skirt. Okay, maybe they did get rid of some stuff. You were able to make the entire outfit way back in the day. As you could see from my screenshot that I had, I think. Yeah, you could make it. So yeah, that game still exists. Other games include the 4Kids Color Blast, which I also have a lot of screenshots of it. It was objectively a really bad coloring game because there weren't that many options. You literally just had colors, you had 4 pictures, you had no way to shade or anything. You were better off just printing the entire thing out and coloring it yourself. But I do have several images of it, and apparently I really enjoyed it. And there's Bloom in a completely different colors because I guess I got bored doing it the classical way. That game was also an official game on the TV website, and I actually thought that it would still be up on one of those flash sites, but I haven't found it. To be fair, it's not like an amazing game that's a terrible loss to Winx Club community if we don't have it anymore, but I was just surprised that it hasn't been saved. Then another official dress-up game that existed was this Create Your Own Fairy thing, where I have taken some horrible screenshots, but still, this was really fun. There were a lot of options. I remember this being on the official Winx Club website. I enjoyed this game a lot. This is me, apparently, by the way. This girl in pink. Then this game, I love this game. This game was super hard. It's Attack on Magic. It was from the official Winx Club website. It is no longer available on the official website, but it is available on some unofficial sites. It was actually a really, 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 really difficult game because you had to time your attacks. Different Winx Fairies were strong and weak against different monsters, and there was no way to cheat it really. At least I never figured out how you could figure out easily who was strong against who and who was weak against who. There was no like specific logic, so you just had to remember each level, and dying was really, really easy. Just one blow from the monsters could easily kill your Winx Fairy, and yeah, it was super hard. I was actually super happy when I recently found this game again because I remembered it being really hard when I was a child, and I was wondering if it was easier now that I'm older, and if anything, it's gotten harder. But I'm happy to say, or maybe this is slightly concerning, that I played this enough that I remembered which fairies were strong against which monsters somewhat. As you can see, as I'm doing a sort of playthrough for this video, just so that you have something to look at other than my face. That I can still, remember who was pretty good against who. And also, I think the different attacks were differently effective against different characters. So yeah, I played this game a lot, and it was a super hard game. But I definitely kind of recommend checking it out if you can find it online still. It is available on some websites, even though it's no longer officially available. So yeah, that is one non-dress up game we have here. And we just have one more official game to cover, and it's this Create Your Own Fairy game. This Create Your Own Fairy game is older than the one I previously mentioned, but both of these are official, and both of these were from Winx Club's official website. And this Winx Club game, even though I think it was older, is still available on some pages online if you know where to look. The clothes on this were cool. I like that they made like entirely separate artworks for this. The body just changes, you don't have to drag the hair or anything. But there were lots of different hair options, and the fairy looked interesting, and you could change a lot of the details. You could change the eyes, you could change the hair. So I feel like this was more detailed. You could even change the mouth, see. So I feel like this was more detailed than some of the other dress-up games, and it was harder to get bored with it. This fairy looks like completely random. There's just pay it no mind. I'm just clicking through stuff so that you can see it. So yeah, these are all the screenshots I have. Do you remember some of these games? Did you play them? Do you remember where the random games with the KFC packet were from? Because I literally didn't remember these. And did you play any of these games? I'm sure lots of Winx fans played the classical ones that were official, but do you remember the unofficial ones is what I wanna know. And also do you remember the PC game that I talked about from the start? And this was a really different random video, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then I make Winx Club content semi-regularly, and I do content about all sorts of other stuff as well. So make sure to be subscribed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!